we founded our organization based off collecting narratives within the diaspora community and being able to share it with other people. That's the first thing. And so with that, we've grown into authorship, like creating different children's books. We have a children's book called Ketsia Noon Taliba. It's about a young girl that ends up remembering her past life, which is a really beautiful and unique story. But we also use a myriad of different visuals to gain people's attention as well, with different African stories that can be told. We also have our own podcast, the More Podcast as well, where we get to interview people from all different walks of life that get to tell their story from where they're from. We get people from Gambia to Morocco to Vietnam. Really, really phenomenal, and I'm really blessed to be able to have that that means of being able to capture people's story and like share them with other people. To Nihas Foundation, I just recently opened up. This is an organization that's dedicated to sustainable development in communities. And what that looks like for us right now is two different things, right? We're opening up a research center, which if you're hearing this and you are a researcher and you're interested, please contact us, right? We're opening up a research center that's dedicated to research that's happening on the continent. We're starting off with Ghana specifically, and we want it to be in the realm of sustainable development. And so right now we're focusing on a research project dedicated towards agriculture, specifically as it comes to revitalizing soil because of the influence of the agribusiness in African nations. But we're looking at it specifically in Ghana right now, and how different businesses or NGOs may come in and do their, projects, right, that they're trying to help these people in this country as far as food, but what they're doing is they're actually replacing the seeds a lot of time, changing them from heirloom seeds to non-heirloom seeds because they own the patent. And this is a means of economic genocide, right? Another form of genocide in that sense, because you're controlling people's food through these patents, and they're also simultaneously destroying the soil. Not to mention other methods that can destroy the soil as well. And so we're researching this microbe called archaea, which can be a means of revitalizing that soil. And so we think it's really valuable for African researchers and intellectuals to join this project as far as research. And we're going to be applying to different grants for this to be able to fund. And we want this research center to get huge notice and be able to gain different scholars from all over the continent to the world within Diaspora, because we need researchers that are African for Africans and dedicated to building Africa. So that's what we're aiming to do currently. And so that whole thing is based off collecting data from the Africans themselves and the people that are actually doing the work as far as like farming and know the land well, and different people we can work with bringing in this microbe and seeing how it could help develop the soil. So we're going to be working on other projects as well, similar to this in the realm of sustainable innovation. But really what we're doing is we're trying to change this happenstance of having outside foreigners come into African countries and doing this research and getting the grant money, right? Because it happens a lot, believe it or not. And so we want to share this space and bring this space to the African scholars themselves and have it be ran by Africans themselves. And we can do that, and we will do that. So if you're interested in that type of research and excited about it, please reach out to us. We're the Nihas Foundation. And yeah, we're really excited about that type of work that we're doing. And then the other thing that we're also trying to do is preserving these seeds, preserving these non-GMO seeds as much as possible and replanting them in rural areas in Ghana as well. We want to ensure that we're able to have heirloom seeds because there is a huge boom that's going on with these GMO seeds right now. And some people may see it as an advantage of you're being able to control the livestock or the food and be able to get the most out of it or charge more for GMOs, but we don't see it that way. And so we're trying to make sure that we're able to preserve these seeds as much as possible. Alongside, we're working on different projects that can preserve different stories and storytelling and narratives. And we've partnered up with other organizations like Sadache to be able to do that in a digital sense as well. So yeah, there's so many different projects we have going on and that we're going to get started soon. So thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for that. Now, what is your motivation for this type of project? Because this seems to be a large project and they have a lot of impact. Tell me about your personal motivation for them.
Okay. Yeah. My personal motivation is I do think that we have to be aware of where the current attention is taking us, right? And so there is a booming field, like I talked about, the agro business that's doing a lot of work as far as going into communities and patenting different seeds. And it's really scary for me to like know about this, right? And so the only control I have is to do this type of work as far as like researching it in the sense that I'm not only like reading and writing and collecting narratives, but doing the action behind mitigating those things from impacting our environment. And so I am I am passionate about the environment as well with my research. I am a researcher and anthropologist, and that also includes learning about the environment and protecting the environment and different things. So that's my immediate interest. I'm also interested in growing food because I believe that as African people and also people in general, we have to be producers. We can't continue to be consumers, right? So I'm a huge proponent for being a producer and not a consumer. Or if you are a consumer, you producing should outweigh your consuming. So that's like my personal motivation, and I think that we have the ability to do these things. It's not like I guess it sounds large, but it's not really a large thing because these types of things are created all the time by people that look differently from us, and there's no heat about it, right? They get the funding easily, so we're just doing it on the other side, and I'm really excited about where our research is going to take us. So.
All right. Now, what would be your final thought here, considering what we have discussed today about storytelling for African and African diaspora, and of course, how to leverage storytelling for our own interests? Let me understand what would be your final take here.
No, my final take is whoever is listening to this is for a reason, and you should, tell your story, whatever that may be. And don't only tell your story as like telling your friend, but writing your story or finding another means that you like that speaks to you to tell your story. And my other thing is I have written a book on my experience in life and also using a lot of history because I am a history buff. And so if you want to learn more, gain more of my narrative, please purchase my book. It's called Play the Game, Hierarchical Assimilation. You can find it at www.nkosi-a.com. So thank you so much for listening, guys. I really appreciate it.
I like your conversation. They are really rich and yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me again. And yeah, I hope I get invited one more at the time.
Certainly.